learning experience. This lesson is for Monday, April 13th, and currently it is Sunday as I'm making this video. So this is Miss DeShane wishing you a happy Easter with you and your family. And even if you don't celebrate Easter, hope you just had a great Sunday and great and restful weekend. So today we are going to be continuing on with our kind of journey through DNA replication. And in order to do that, we're actually going to introduce a new nucleic acid molecule. Okay, so primarily right now we've only been concerning ourselves with DNA. Okay, so that is a nucleic acid, which is a type of macromolecule we talked about earlier in the school year. So right now we've only talked about DNA, but today we're actually going to talk about RNA. Okay, so RNA is also a nucleic acid that is very similar to DNA. In fact, you actually need DNA to help make RNA. All right, and we're going to talk about RNA today because RNA is actually really important for the DNA replication process. Okay, so today I want to go over RNA and its structure, and then for the rest of the time, you're going to be working on some models of DNA that I'm sending to you in the school lesson. Okay, so first to start, I just want to go over the structure of RNA. Excuse me, and then I will be going over the structure more in depth on a different whiteboard. Okay, but RNA, like I said, is another nucleic acid. All right, and that's a type of molecule that contains genetic information. Genetic info. Okay, so RNA also has some genetic information that's really important for your cells to be able to perform all of their functions. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so RNA is actually short for ribonucleic acid. So it's not too different from DNA. DNA was deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA is just ribonucleic acid. Okay, RNA is a molecule that is actually required to make proteins. So all of the enzymes that we've talked about before, including the enzymes needed to make DNA replication happen, all need RNA in some way. Okay? And I'll get to that in just a second. All right? RNA is actually a single-stranded structure. It is not double-stranded like DNA is. It doesn't kind of function in that twisted ladder. There's only one strand. Okay? And lastly, RNA serves as a primer in DNA replication, and I will get to that in just a second. But first, I want to talk a little bit about DNA and proteins. Okay, so this right here is kind of the way that proteins are made in a very brief summary. Okay, first, your DNA is used to help make a strand of RNA, and RNA is actually used to make proteins. Okay, so your body is actually able to kind of read this RNA and help make proteins that are needed. Okay, also RNA serves as a primer in DNA replication. So if you remember from one of the previous videos, I talked about, what did I talk about? Primase. Okay, primase is an enzyme that makes a primer that helps DNA polymerase go along its way. Okay, so you'll be able to see more about RNA and what it does in DNA replication very soon, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. But for now, just know that RNA is the kind of molecule that helps get DNA replication started. Okay, so I'm going to move back to another whiteboard so that we can actually look more in depth at RNA. Here it is. Okay, now moving on to kind of the logistics and the details of RNA. RNA is what we call a nucleic acid, like I mentioned, and it has kind of the same basic structure as DNA with a few differences, okay? But to start, RNA is still made up of that nucleotide structure, which contains a sugar, a phosphate, and a nitrogen base. So this is kind of the basic structure of RNA. We have some sugars, we have phosphates, and we also have our nitrogen bases. Okay? One of the few differences, though, between RNA and DNA is the types of bases that they have. Okay? So I'm going to write down DNA's bases right down here. So DNA also has cytosine, it has guanine, it has adenine, and it has thymine. Okay? But the difference between RNA and DNA is that RNA contains a different nitrogen base than thymine. Okay? So instead of having C, G, A, and T, RNA has C, G, A, and U, and that U stands for uracil, because uracil is a different nitrogen base that is unique to RNA instead of DNA. Okay, so in RNA there's no thymine, but there is uracil. Okay, and actually in RNA the base pairing is still the same. So C will still bind to G, and A, instead of binding to T, will bind to U. Okay, I still have yet to come up with a mnemonic like apple in the tree and car in the garage to help remember RNA, but I will try to do that so that I can share it with you because I think that would be helpful. Anyways, moving on. So remember that RNA is a single stranded molecule. Okay, so it is not going to be double sided, or not double sided, double stranded like DNA was. Okay, there's just one strand right here. All right, there's the sugar, there's the phosphate, and there is a nitrogen base. So that is the basic nucleotide structure, and it's just all of the nucleotides bonded together that forms the structure of RNA. Okay? So I wanted to talk about RNA a little bit today because it's going to be very important for DNA replication, as you'll find out very soon. Okay, so make sure that you watch this video and then get going on those DNA models. I think I might give you until, I'll let you know what I actually decide, but you'll have today to work on them. You can have the flex day to work on them, but also make sure you're prioritizing your time so that maybe you're working on stuff from other classes that you're behind on. And then we'll figure out when the DNA models will be actually due. Okay, but that's going to be it for kind of today's mini lesson, and make sure to take a look at that DNA modeling activity too. So hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and email me with any questions if you have them.